Dear friends, 2024 may be the last opportunity to prepare for a flight to the moon because a real bull market awaits us with the renewal of old all-time highs. Therefore, it is extremely important to prepare for such a development in advance. After all, we all want to see that coveted million in our accounts. That's why I decided to compare two very promising altcoins that I think can make a lot of X at the top of the bull market. So, subscribe to the channel, give this video a thumbs up, and let's get started. I want to start by comparing the technology of these blockchains because both projects have a pretty cool base that can compete for points in this section. So let me remind you about Solana and ICP so you can draw conclusions and determine who takes your points in this category. But first, I would like to ask you to subscribe and like the video so that you never miss interesting cryptocurrency videos again. Although both projects are not young anymore and have more than one market cycle behind them, you can see that they are now at the peak of their development. Technologies, ecosystems, partners. By the way, it's quite funny that both projects like to call themselves Ethereum killers. So today we're going to find out who the real killer is. So let's start with Solana. Solana supports experiences for power users, new consumers, and everyone in between. I don't need to talk long about Solana because the numbers do it for me. Thanks to its technology, blockchain is able to perform transactions as quickly and cheaply as possible without losing its security and reliability. And that is very attractive to me because transfers are almost instantaneous and, of course, cost a cent for simple transfers. Already now, this blockchain can easily compete with Visa in these indicators. By the way, according to statistics, TON will be faster. But does it have such an ultimate ecosystem? I think this question does not even need an answer. What is ICP? Internet Computer Protocol adds autonomous serverless cloud functionality to the public internet, making it possible to build almost any system or service entirely on a decentralized network using canister software, an evolution of smart contracts. It's an insanely important technology because today we all lack decentralization, and unfortunately, even cryptocurrencies have recently stopped giving it to us. Therefore, this idea is a great contribution to preserving the original form of cryptocurrency. In addition, this technology makes it easy to create new projects on the blockchain. So ICP is actually a forest doctor that allows new projects to start easily while maintaining the decentralization that is so lacking in our time. And although ICP is not at the top of the fastest blockchains, it can easily get there because it has the ability to make 11,500 transactions per second with a 1-second finality. By the way, the transaction fee is also very low, $0.0000022, but it is still a bit more than Solana's. So it is very difficult for me to choose a winner in this round because both technologies have their advantages. So I think it's fair to give 1 point for each project. Who would you give 1 point to in this round? Share in the comments, and I'm moving on to the next category. These are quite interesting criteria because crypto actually trades on the expectations and emotions of other market participants. And Solana is definitely a project that knows how to give big news partnerships and, above all, emotions. For me personally, this blockchain has long since become Tier 2 after Ethereum because it has some pretty amazing partnerships. How about this? A partnership with one of the biggest trading platforms. And this is not the only high-profile partnership. The Solana Foundation team knows very well what they are doing, and the result of these actions is simply amazing. So it's clear that this project knows how to create newsworthy events. But what about the community? The community itself is huge, with 2.4 million subscribers, which is a very large number for the crypto industry. Although you don't see a lot of interest from subscribers, Solana's fans are a pretty loyal audience. And what can you see from the Internet Computer Protocol? You can immediately see that the audience is almost 4 times smaller than Solana's. You can also see this from the activity under the project's posts, which is even less than that of some NFT projects. Of course, this is not the best indicator to understand the real potential of an asset, but it reflects the loyalty of the audience very well. What about interesting events and partnerships on ICP? First, the ICP team will be participating in events organized by other projects. To be precise, in February alone, Internet Computer Protocol will participate in 5 other events, in addition to 3 of its own. Therefore, this month will be very productive for the token and the ecosystem as a whole. Second, Internet Computer Protocol has a pretty large number of cool partnerships, but they are not new. And unfortunately, at the moment, these partnerships have not brought any incredible boost to the project or the token itself. Maybe in the future they will start recruiting more and more cool brands into partnerships, especially after this month, which is full of various events. But right now they are way behind Solana with their huge list of collaborations. Therefore, I will definitely give Solana the edge here, and the score becomes 1-2, so I suggest we continue. This is probably my favorite part because here you can evaluate the factors that most influence projects and their potential. So I suggest not to dwell on it for long and get to the point. The Solana ecosystem is a truly outstanding part of the market. And that's not all. If you scroll through their website with the appropriate section, you can spend a lot of time because the number of projects is simply unrealistic. You can see that Solana itself is growing exponentially. TVL, fees, volume are all coming back to the blockchain. And that's obviously a bullish factor. Also, new directions are starting to appear that were not very typical for the Solana blockchain before. The last 2 months can definitely be called a shitcoins holiday because every day 1,000 new tokens are issued and 1,000 traders become incredibly rich and sometimes vice versa. And besides that, various DeFi projects have started to develop with incredible power. If earlier Solana was more about NFTs, now this blockchain is starting to grow its teeth and increasingly repeats the history of Ethereum, which was the trendsetter of all these interesting areas for making money. Such an increase in activity of project builders and ordinary users is directly related to the significant price increase that Solana has demonstrated over the past 6 months. And I am sure that this situation of activity will only improve in the future because it is much easier and, more importantly, cheaper to build your project, trade shitcoins or NFTs than on Ethereum. Unfortunately, the ICP ecosystem does not look that big, but if you look at the information on the website, you can see some interesting things. I am particularly impressed by the emphasis on social fi, which is undoubtedly becoming a new trend in the cryptocurrency world. Here you can find projects of various sizes, from very small ones with an audience of 5,000 to 10,000 users, to large ones with 100,000 to 300,000 participants. Some may think these are small numbers, especially compared to traditional social networks. However, it is important to remember that in the crypto world, the number of users is generally lower than in Web 2. And although ICP also shows growth in key indicators, it is not yet at the same level as Solana. So Solana definitely has the upper hand here. But in defense of ICP, I would like to say that it has only just begun its journey to regain its former level. And what about growth potential? I've mentioned this before, but I can't help but bring it up again. Now we can see how Solana started its revival. It took about 320 days for it to do so, after which it started to grow rapidly from $17 to a high of $125. In my opinion, this was only possible due to the constant work of the team, despite the FTX scam, poor market conditions, and other distractions. And as I said, ICP is in the same situation now, but it took a little over a year to get back on track. And anyway, I think it's quite possible to see Solana at around $1,000 to $1,200, which is the new all-time high, which would be about 10 to 12 times the current price. And for ICP, I see a little bit more growth potential because right now it is at a fairly low price point, judging by its technology and ecosystem. It seems to me that the 20s are a fairly likely development, so ICP takes the point in that category and the overall score becomes 2 to 3 in favor of Solana. Personally, it's still hard for me to pick a real winner, as both projects show themselves to be the best. So I decided to stick to my plan of investing in both tokens at the same time. But I want to remind you that this video is not financial advice at all, but just my thoughts and calculations. So be sure to do your own research before you invest. And that's all. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the growth of coins and new trends. Thanks for watching. Your Coin Post.